Hi, I'm Maisie and this is CCN's Weekly News 5 at 5, October 8th. This week, Central Coast Local Health District has confirmed that the local case tally has now reached 964, with another 31 cases being reported in the last 24 hours to 8 p.m. last night. The local district has also resumed publishing some of the potential exposure site listings. Among those new listings published this week include Woolworths at Gosford and Umina and Hungry Wolves at Ettalong Beach. A list of exposure venues and dates can be found on our website under the Coronavirus Updates tab. And we have a new Premier. Dominic Perrottet was elected head of the New South Wales Parliamentary Liberal Party and therefore became the Premier of New South Wales this week after the surprise resignation of Gladys Berejiklian. And Paul Toole has also been sworn in as the New South Wales National Leader and therefore Deputy Premier following John Barilaro's resignation on Monday. Shadow Minister for the Central Coast David Harris is appealing to the state's new boss to bring back a minister for the Central Coast, and Adam Crouch has said he was amused with the vote of confidence. Here's a little of what they had to say.
That the government at the moment has to rely on the vote of the three independents to get legislation through, and so they have to talk to the opposition if they've got controversial legislation to see if we will support it, because the government hasn't had the numbers in the upper house for a long time.
And the public inquiry into Central Coast Council has restarted after last week's technical glitches. I was going to say stuff-ups. This week, we viewed glimpses of the division and dysfunction inside the council prior to it being put into administration in October. Several suspended councillors were in the dock, as it were, to be including the ex-mayor and opposition councillor Greg Best, who released a series of accusations of his own. Keep an eye on our website for comprehensive day-to-day reporting of the inquiry by Council Watch reporter Marilyn Vale.
I took you off track there when I suggested it was dredging. You were talking about flooding and said...
Yes, flooding. There was constant notice of motions we put up to manage mitigate the flooding at the entrance channel. There'd been a drought situation, the sandbar builds up, the lakes gets clogged, the water quality drops, and it's been going on for years and years. It's been an ongoing thing.
And walk-up vaccine clinics are open in Gosford and Wyong Hospital over the last few days. We went along to check it out and me to get the jab. Oh, here we are this morning at the Gosford Hospital to report on the newly open walk-up vaccination clinic for Pfizer, and people are starting to trickle in, and I intend to take the research myself right to the door. So let's see how far we can get. This is the first time that Gosford Hospital's had a walk-up clinic. A similar one has been set up in the last 2 days at Wyong Hospital. The idea of boosting the vaccination rates of around about 30,000 Central Coastians who have yet to get their first jab. Let's have a look how it goes. And in more health news, Wyong Hospital has a new emergency department building. It will be open to the public this coming Wednesday, so make sure you go to the right building. Check out our website for details on how to get there. A major traffic pinch point, the Tumbi roundabout that many of us have been held up about, is under development. Here's Sky Hult's report.
Out of lockdown, motorists using this Tumbi Road intersection at Wamberal in peak hours can often experience around 10-minute delays. But now this bottleneck is set for a major makeover.
It's a very exciting time here. You know, the $387 million redevelopment of Central Coast Highway, and the first step, obviously, is this redevelopment here at the Tumbi Road intersection. I want to thank the community for all of their feedback, and they very quickly identified that this pinch point was what they wanted us to start with first.
The W League Michaela Ryan has been appointed ahead of the upcoming A-League women's season, the first to include all 12 A-League squads. Central Coast resident, she is, as she's now a referee for Central Coast football. Michaela will be employed in her debut season in the W League. She'll act as the fourth official, a role that includes game timekeeping, organising substitutions, among other things. Keep an eye out for her as our rising referee. And you may have heard the name Jack Moyer. The Mountain Biking World Enduro Series has been completed in the Tweed Valley of Scotland, with Lake Macquarie resident Jack Meyer crowned the new world champion. Ending in Britain, this series involved 8 prior races across the Italian and Swiss Alps and the Pyrenees Mountains of southern France.
And the soon-to-be-open Central Coast Zoo at Wyong Creek has welcomed 6 African lions from Stardust Circus. The pride is set to be one of many draw cards when the zoo opens at the Amazement Farm and Fun Park. Here's our reporter Sky Hull with more details.
The new King of the Central Coast has arrived.
We've got 6 lions here, 3 males and 3 females, and they've come from Stardust Circus. They've retired from circus life now, so we were lucky enough to be able to get them, and it's quite a privilege really. I grew up here on the Central Coast, and so to be able to come back home and to be able to do what I love doing is really exciting for me and really exciting for the coast, I think.
The pride of lions from Stardust Circus have been rehomed to the soon-to-open Central Coast Zoo.
Thanks, Sky. All of these stories and thousands more can be found on our website without a paywall or in this week's Coast Community News, Coast Community Chronicle and the Pelican Post. Remember to subscribe to all of our YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify and Instagram pages for updates throughout the week, and keep an eye out for Sky Hull's video updates. We finished this week with a snippet from this week's Amped Culture interview of Mafalda Mutinho, who has landed in the peculiar and curious profession of a tea master. We hope you have a fun and safe weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
I'm going to have a sip of my tea.
You should definitely slurp.
Definitely slurp, okay.
As much as you can. So it opens your taste buds. It also brings the temperature down. So when you're sipping on coffee, you should do that. When you're sipping on wine, you should do that to really aerate it and to allow your taste buds to pick up on notes that you normally wouldn't. Also, after you swallow, you should breathe out through your nose. So it brings back the aroma and you pick up a lot more when it's in your olfactory system.
Wow.
It's good.
So do you slurp all your drinks now?
Look, I do tea,
Yeah.
I do wine,
Yeah.
but if I'm in Europe and my mom is like in a 2-kilometer radius, she will know. And she will be like, keep in touch, like, what are you doing? All the money that I spend in your education and you're slurping.